shoot people, threaten people's lives. And I know you're probably asking, why would I trust her? Well, that's a good question. The answer is, we used to be in love. Yeah, she was my girlfriend, only she doesn't remember it because it wasn't her. Because her dad threw her off a magic cliff and she died, and then I lost my temper and nearly destroyed half the universe. And she came back out of the past. There she is. Everyone else who died in the past stayed dead, not her. Why? Was it the magic cliff? I don't know. That's some freaking Infinity Stone scientist. And some dumbass, of course, dude who met a girl, fell in love. The magic cliff? I don't know.
Did y'all see this video that SpaceX put on Twitter? It's actually the entire single-take launch of the Transporter 6 mission, the mission that launched a little while ago, carrying 114 different payloads into space. Now, it's awesome because it's a single take of this rocket taking off and going up and doing the flip and then turning back around and coming back down and landing at the LZ-1 back on the shore. But there's so many little interesting things that you can see if you pause it, play it again, pause it, play it again. So I figured that we would do a little bit analysis of the video so we could talk about some of the things that you can see as we go through the thing. The first important thing is to figure out where this camera actually is, right? If you look at the rocket, it's actually up above the grid fins. You'll see that later on in the video. But the grid fins are just below it, and it's looking down the bottom of the rocket. The first thing you'll see, now that you know that this camera is up a little more than halfway up the rocket looking down, is that you're looking at the pad infrastructure, right? And the number one thing is right in the middle of the screen, you see some water jets sort of going in. That's part of the deluge system. That actually starts up before the rocket engines actually light, and it's there to absorb some of that initial like ignition impact. And so what you do is you put some water in the way, and that energy coming out of the engines hits that water and atomizes it, turns it to steam, and sort of diffuses and diffracts it so it's not just bouncing straight back up at your rocket. The next thing that you'll see are what's called rainbirds coming on. And the rainbirds you see across the top of the screen, and those are like sort of nozzles that spray a little bit wider fan in. That comes on after the center deluge pipes come on. The act of vaporizing that water from liquid into a gas takes energy, and that is energy that's not going to come back at your rocket or go off in all sorts of random directions. Flame directions are a big part of launching rockets, like keeping control of that energy. Super important, cough, cough, Starship. Another thing that you can sort of see is the transporter erector. The TE is on the right-hand side. And that sort of leans back a little bit in advance to sort of get out of the way. But you don't want it to be right next to the rocket as the engines pass it and spray flame all over it. So what you see happen right there after ignition and liftoff is that transporter erector throws back. It's literally the transporter, the TE throwback, and it throws back even further so that the flames of the rocket engine don't directly impact the side of it. The transporter erector actually carries up some of the umbilicals, like how they fuel the rocket and how they get electrical connections to the second stage and all these different things, right? And so you want to protect those lines, those hoses, equipment, whatever. As we get off of the pad a little bit here, there's a great shot of the flame director, the flame trench that's controlling the direction that exhaust goes. Now, if you've seen that awesome drone shot of Starship doing a static fire down at Starbase, you see there's no flame trench there. It's just a flat piece of concrete underneath, and therefore the exhaust goes in every direction, right? Here at Pad 40, there's actually a built thrust direction trench, flame trench, whatever you want to call it, that creates this big directional plume out in one direction, and that sort of controls where that exhaust is going to end up. It doesn't just go in every direction and end up in all your other GSE and into your dumpsters and whatever. It goes in a specific direction. You can really see how that plume is, I don't know, directed by the flame trench. As you continue to go up, you see the rocket start to do a little bit of a roll there. You can see the Space Coast in the background, all the little roads there, the beach. That's all part of Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. And so the first pad of Cape Canaveral Space Force Station that we see is over on the left-hand side of the screen. That's going to be Slick 41, Space Launch Complex 41, which is part of United Launch Alliance, where they launched Atlas V's from and where they're going to be launching the Vulcan.
Hey, John.
So as we continue the roll and the rocket climbs higher and higher, Launch Complex 39A and 39B come into view over on the left-hand side. Launch Complex 39A, of course, is where SpaceX launches their other Falcon 9s from. The crew launches go from there, and the resupply missions going up to the International Space Station go there, because unlike 40, which has no tower or crew access arm or anything like that, 39A has the tower and crew access arm that they can use to load, I don't know, astronauts onto the crew capsule on the way up. The next pad over, 39B, we recently saw a launch from...
John, can you hear me? John. Talk to me. Talk to me.
From there, that's where Artemis 1 and SLS took off just a little while ago. And as we continue to get higher away from the Space Coast, we see more things start to happen. The biggest thing that you really start to see is how the fire coming out of the back of the Falcon 9 starts to change. Down on the ground, if you've ever drawn a rocket and you draw like the little pencil flame coming out of the bottom, right? That happens because of the atmospheric pressure down at sea level. Down at sea level, there's all these it's not molecules, air particles, whatever you want to call them, right? Densely packed in. It's why you can breathe pretty well when you're down at sea level. Then you go up a mountain, you're like, I can't breathe anymore. Air's not as dense. You're not getting as much oxygen. What that air does is it actually keeps the flame sort of like, I don't know, in a flame shape coming out the bottom of the nozzle. As you get higher, like climbing a mountain, the atmosphere gets a lot thinner. Right? And the thinner atmosphere has less of an effect, sort of pushing that flame into the pencil flame coming out of the back of the rocket. And you see what's called plume expansion. The plume starts to expand out the sides. And of course, it's a Falcon 9. It's got 9 engines on the bottom. So instead of just one big nebulous cloud behind the rocket, you actually get sort of discrete little expanding flame plumes coming out the side of it. Of course, there should be 8 of those, right? Because you got 8 engines around the outside and then 1 engine in the middle. So the higher and higher
John,
you get, the thinner and thinner the atmosphere gets, and the more that exhaust plume expands out behind the Falcon 9. You really get to see it there. You get the main engine cutting off, and then all of a sudden, there's some things that you can't see on this camera shot looking down. The rocket does a couple things. You're going to see the upper stage separate. That means the second stage sort of separates from the booster, the parts that's going to come back down to land at the Cape. And the second stage is going to continue going on. Also behind the camera for a minute,
there you are.
The fairings are going to separate. And those are those protective...
Yeah, I can hear you real low. You're not up real high. Can you turn your volume up?
Let's see here. Let me check. What about now?
Yeah, that's good. How about me? How you feeling?
You look good and sound even better.
Did you could you hear the video playing at all?
Not yours, just mine.
Oh, really? See, I've been having that's the only thing I'm still trying to figure out.
Fairings up at the top that protect the payloads.
I think if I do this,
thick atmosphere. But once you get up high enough, the atmosphere is thin enough. There's not so much air that you can just get rid of the fairing. Don't want to carry the mass of it anymore, but
I think you can hear it then.
Protect your payloads from the atmosphere. And so what you see here all of a sudden is the booster flipping around because this is an RTLS.
Could you hear it then?
For return to launch site, right? It's going back to where it came from. It's not going downrange to a drone ship or anything like that.
Not a big deal. I'm just starting out my end of the podcast with a video on what happens with the SpaceX rockets and why it's so messed up what they do.
And what is it? What is it doing?
It's on the gravitational pull of re-entry, and then them being able to stop it. Like, there's some math that they can't figure out on that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull in. Let's see, join the stream. Yep, there we go.
I'm trying to... Why do I have that echo? Monitor and output.
All right, so I got a tip for you, friendo.
What?
That is, you need to be using your virtual camera more efficiently. So, like what you see on your screen right now with you and I, that's all set up on a scene, and then I pop it in via my virtual cam. And what happens is how I want to say it, man, when I'm Oh, it takes place of the camera you're using. So when you start it up in Streamlabs, you'll choose the OBS virtual cam or your Streamlabs virtual cam, and you set that up with all like you do normally with your green screen and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll come through your Streamlabs and whatever else you're going through. I did it on a messenger call today. It was kind of funny with this
That's sweet.
background.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just trying to get rid of this echo.
Oh, right on. A lot of times that can be solved. I figured that one out today too. Whichever layer is the echoing layer, drop the audio below it a little bit lower than that. And make sure that all of your monitor and everything is off.
My desktop audio. I think I need that for recording. Let me just press record and see how it sounds.
Right on.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'll punch you in your kidney.
So you're onto a new job, huh? How's that working out?
Oh my God, it's incredible. It's unreal. I don't even want to jinx myself.
Yeah, but it's keeping you thinking. It's good for your brain.
Yeah, I mean, one day I'm pouring cement and moving rock. The next day I'm studying the blueprint. The next day I was just cleaning out the truck, and every day I'm, I mean, the last couple days I feel like it didn't even work. I was just talking conspiracies with the boss, and I'm getting paid unreal amount of money because I've been training this one lady for 12 years, and she hooked me up with her brother, and then this guy's daughter trains with my partner's wife. I mean, it's just a big connection. It's just all, it's like that's how the Lord works. Just stop swinging at windmills and just go with it. And that's what I've learned. And now I'm in the spot which I truly feel like I'm not even working and I'm getting paid a lot of money. I mean, I'm gone. Whoa. Testing.
Just testing.
I'm going to check this video real quick. How's this sound? 3, I don't know. What's the date?
So is Kaylin coming on today?
Oh, I don't know. She might.
All right, you got an extra Florida Keys Kid window open on your Streamlab. It's like a whole extra square of.
Well, I don't sound that bad on the recording.
No, you sound pretty good, man.
All right, so it's just me. It's just me. What about now?
Sometimes.
Still good?
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, here, let me try something real quick. I'm going to here, pull this up. I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to go to window share, add source, add new source, and
oh, I see what happened. Okay.
okay, can you see that?
On Streamlab, no, nothing, man.
Nothing?
No.
Okay, hold on.
You're live on Facebook, though, right?
No, I'm not. We're not live.
Oh, I'm live on Mugsy.com right now.
Oh, well, what's up, Mugsy.com? My name's John Lee, the other part of the Realm Kings. And our Realm Queen, I don't know if she's going to show up, but...
The Trinity of Truth.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like that.
It is starting to feel a little...
That's what happens when you write things down. They manifest into reality.
Oh, my God. Out of all the health and fitness... all the crap you can get with that stuff, then this one pops up today talking about it's a pineal gland release pill. Simple as that.
That would be awesome.
It'll break loose your pineal gland and put it to work.
So like, you can't see that window capture.
No. Are you using share screen or?
Yeah, I use window capture. What share screen?
On your Streamlabs.
Where is it?
That's why I'm saying you should be using your virtual camera. Set up a scene exactly the way you want it with your green screen background, everything. Okay? And then you decorate that with what images you want to show. You should even be able to switch your virtual cam. You can make it be any scene you want, to be honest. So if you set up a separate scene, and then in Streamlabs you switch, because you're using the Streamlabs like main thing. You're not using OBS anymore, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. At least the people will be able to see what I'm showing, and if you put your phone on and watch the live and just like turn the volume off.
Yeah, where are you live at?
I'm about to be live here on TikTok and in all the good places here. We're about to
in all the good places.
So we got Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Let's see here. The Realm Kings podcast, support the stream. What's that? It's going to be on the Realm Kings podcast Facebook page. Then I have to go share it. Twitch, YouTube, going live. Bam. That's what I love about that. I don't got to redo the Facebook. All right. And pressing record.
Right on, man.
All right. And now we're just going to go live on and we are live on TikTok. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Realm Kings podcast, where the truth flows like wine. And like Tony Markle says, the truth will enlighten you, it will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. So just be prepared for that and then get over it, move on, and pick up back your jump rope and your go running and do all those things you normally
where the
do.
truth will
Just
set
don't
you
fall
free,
for any of those
but first it'll piss you off.
tricks.
So just
that
be
they try to
prepared
put
for
on
that.
you. And then here, let me go to my thing and share it from my regular Facebook page real quick. Let's see here.
Right on. Yep.
The Realm Kings. I gotta find it and then I can share this. Tune in, please go support the stream. All right. Okay, so Jay, how are you?
I am wonderful.
How is your website going and all that? Mugsy.com. How are you doing with that?
Oh, pretty good, man. I just, as a matter of fact, I just did a revamp on it. And so it's looking new and fresh, a little more professional. Just a little more.
I'm trying to make some moves here. There we go. All right, that's better. So you don't see my green screen like that. I got the My NASA thing in the background.
I can see it on
the stream.
Yeah.
But you can't see it on your camera.
No, that's a negative, buddy.
Gotcha. All right, so we're talking, is space fake today, ladies and gentlemen? And look, we don't even know. We don't pretend to know. But what we do know is that we're willing to look. We're willing to look into it. And is that really such a such a crazy concept, instead of just regurgitating what you were told by someone who doesn't care about you, why not investigate and examine um, some evidence and look into it? I mean, you've got nothing better to do, probably. You're probably just watching Netflix or some sort of propaganda machine, catalyst that's trying to keep you occupied in your mind, so, jumbled with stupid ass, storylines and the same old, cinemagician rituals that you don't realize are happening right in front of you. Jay, what do you think? Um, let's start. Do you believe that we landed on the moon, or am I gonna have to go on a crusade tonight to prove to you that we did it?
I'm like 75-25. It is a really hard stretch for me on a lot of the facts to believe that we
75 what?
I'm 75 to the no, we did not, and 25 to
Oh,
well,
okay.
yeah, yeah, you know.
All right, yeah. I
75 to
hear
the
you.
no, though, bro. There's way too many coincidences going on.
I love how you added 25%. Like, yes, like respect. Like, respect. It's okay. It's okay not to know, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be 100% on anything because you weren't there. You don't know. And all we can do is speculate, by inputting the evidence into our brain and dissecting it and using our critical thinking to come up with the answer. Okay. And I may be kind of dramatic with that part, but it's true. I can't believe how many people just literally regurgitate buzzwords and talking points without even looking into anything. So, hey, we're here, we're in it, we're cooking with gas already. So, 10 views. All right. So, Jay, let's show you this picture.
Yes,
Oh,
bring
no,
me
wait,
to the
that's old.
100%er, man.
We got to go back. Sorry. Let me go back
Oh,
a
that
little
was
bit and
some
see what we
last
got.
week stuff there.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
just
sorry. I
all
don't
the way
mean
to
to
the
dig
top.
my ears while I'm on live, man. But these earbuds, I got to go with some over the ears. I just,
Can you see this picture?
yep, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got.
Now I've been through. I'll let you know. I'm really well versed on a lot of the NASA lies, especially um, just functionality, man. Like, how did we even get out of this radiation belt if it was impossible? And then we do it and nobody died. And then they came back through it again after their modules take a hell of a beating. I mean, there's these things that really twist my mind with how is it not we're traveling there now on a luxury shuttle that 500 people can fit on with as much technology has been invented between 1969 and now. you know did NASA just start taking too much LSD? Is that what happened? Or
I mean, it really is interesting that I can't get a cell phone signal up north or in the middle of the ocean, but I mean, these guys talked to Nixon on a landline, um, from 200,000 miles away. Like, I don't know, man. It
right.
just, when you start using your critical thinking part of your brain, you're like, huh, but I thought our technology's way better now. Is it? Wait a minute.
Well, and
Hmm.
then I've
Interesting.
heard the recordings where the spacing. This was just recent. I think you passed them to me. They were the recordings where the spacing in the conversations was prompted so that they understood that they needed to wait a minute to speak, and then he's like, "Wait to speak." Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't pass that. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. But I don't think I passed that one to you
Yeah,
also.
man, like but here's an even better one for you, bro. They told us that they lost all sorts of footage, right?
That's well, my favorite one is
They
that they
just came out in
destroyed
the
the
news with they're
technology.
releasing a bunch of footage they never released before.
My favorite one is that they destroyed the technology, and that it'd be too.
How? I could probably get artificial intelligence to tell me how to get to the moon and back efficiently right now.
Don Pettit, the oldest active astronaut at NASA, goes, I would love to go back. This is his exact quote, and he did this in an interview.
Waterloo cherry limeade seltzer. It's delicious.
I love it. He goes, I would love to go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we destroyed that technology, and it would be a really big headache to try to build it back again. And when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. I lived my whole entire life up to 35 years old, or when I probably saw that, and I never knew that the narrative was we had destroyed the technology and that's why we haven't gone back. Like that is not something that was part of the narrative for me. And when I heard a NASA astronaut actually say that out loud, I was like, what the fuck is actually going on in this realm? And I say realm very strongly because it means I don't know what the fuck we're living on. I don't know what we're living on. Who knows? You don't know. I guarantee you, if NASA knows, they're not telling us. They're not telling us the truth because they've been lying about everything over and over and over again. And I'm gonna show this video here. Jay, can you see the? Oh no, you probably can't. Yeah, I gotta go back. Um,
Yeah, it's all right. I got it over here on my. I'll just bring
okay.
this.
Yep. So
I'll bring this in front of me so the mysterious makes it look like I'm
turn up
watching.
your volume just for a second when I play this to see if you can hear it. Did you hear that?
No, just.
Jay,
Yeah, I can hear you plain as day.
did you hear that video though?
No, not at all.
Let's see here.
Just don't sweat it, okay? Don't sweat it. We're gonna do it this way. Hey Judy, that's the last thing I got up there right now.
Okay, here we go. This is Judy from the Challenger that supposedly blew up. Now this guy, she's Judy, a professor at Yale, and he tries to approach her and calls her by her real name and watch her reaction. I love this. This is, being a fighter and a coach, I really am good at knowing human behavior. I know when someone's hurt. I know when they're lying. I know when freaking they're pretending to be hurt, and it's just this is some interesting human behavior for supposedly someone that's dead, or this is an imposter, a
Yeah.
doppelganger, someone that just looks like her. I mean, why would anyone just do this?
Judy, how you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind. What press? From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about a space shuttle. No, I want to be polite. Friendly. Just a question. So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
Oh man.
Kind of odd that Judith is in full panic mode when realizing the press is in her presence. She's no stranger to being in the spotlight. She even made her way into Hollywood for a quick cameo.
If the choice is to allow Americans to be taken as hostages or to be executed, I'll bring my own rope. Saddam backed down, and Ambassador Wilson helped thousands get safely home. When he himself came home to the United States, he was warmly greeted by our president, who took him to the Oval Office and introduced him to the War Cabinet as an American hero.
Yeah, stop right there. Break that down with her first, man. Like that's
Okay.
You hear me all right?
So here, check it out. I mean, we just saw a lady kind of like my thing is that what people are going to say as soon as he says the word conspiracy, before he actually asks her about the shuttle, she, of course, she's just going to bail. She doesn't want to hear about it. So I can see, you know, any of the already talking points for people. That's what I would say if I was looking at that and I didn't know what I knew. No, and I was trying to defend the narrative. I would say, look, this guy walks up to this lady, he says conspiracy, and she immediately just walks away, right? He should have hit her with the shuttle right away and watch her walk away the same way. You know what I mean? If I was the interviewer, I wouldn't have messed around. I would have went right. I would have been cooking with gas as soon as I walked up to her. You
Went
know what I
straight for
mean?
the jugular, right?
Yeah, exactly. Straight for the jugular and watch her freak out. And I suspect she would have done the same thing. You know, and she uses the same exact name. She doesn't even change her name. She doesn't even change her name. I mean, it's ridiculous. And what happened was no one knew that the internet would be what it is. No one would knew that the internet would be what it is. And my theory, it's like it's just like how the elite trust fund dorks tried to fuck with the Bible. They put a bunch of bullshit in there. And what I believe as I read it is that while they've tried to mess with it and take things out of it, and it still like transforms you as you read it. You can find the bullshit in it, and then you can find what really means something to you in it, and it changes you, it transforms you. And that's what I think that this is really all about, is that these people are trying to transform our thoughts away from God as much as possible. And and they use NASA and science, and not science but scientism, to try to get you um, believing anything that they say, especially if they're in a position of authority. Like, I call them the priest with the pocket protector in the lab coat. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the same thing. Back in the day, they used religion to try to control the masses as much as possible. And at some point, they realized, it's better to use scientism to control them, because this will get them farther away from God, which is what they want, right? And and people try to make sense of what's going on. They're like, it's just getting worse and worse. And it's like, yeah, if you don't look at it from a spiritual point of view, it'll never make sense. It'll never make sense.
CERN is the biggest culprit of them all because they took on the definitive role of convincing people that what they're doing is, of course, looking for the God particle. But in that statement alone, they're slowly conditioning the general public to believe that science can find God. You guys just go ahead, kick back, do what you're doing. We're going to let you know when we find him, all right? And it gets people to look. The bigger picture is it just slowly gets people to lower their guard. They lower that mentality of I need to be the one looking for God. I need to be the one that knows that I can speak to him, that I can do for him. And I'll even take that to the Catholic Church on how the priest and the fathers or whatever that you want to call them, they make you come to them to tell you your sins. They make you come to them for retribution and forgiveness, and it's not meant to be that way, man.
And
But
then
that's
use
the
it
way
against, yeah.
they
And then
use
they
that
use
to
it
drop
against
your
you and
guard.
blackmail you, and
Oh
they make
yeah,
you freaking do something that you don't want to do. That's all part of it.
yeah. Where do you
And
think
what's crazy about
Scientology got their freaking basis for? How are we going to get money out of these people? Well, we sit them down in sessions where they open up and tell us all their dirtiest, darkest secrets, and we record it. And then that way we can tell John Travolta, hey, remember that bit you told us about fucking those 4 13-year-olds? We got it on record, okay? You start forking over $15 million a year. Thanks. Have a great day.
the crazy thing about CERN, and what's funny is that I asked somebody today, "Do you know what CERN is?" And they're like, "No, what's that?" And that's what most people say. I swear to God, most people don't even know what that is. I
Yeah.
asked my parents that; they had no idea. So Well, you start talking to them about CERN and that it's not what it's pretending to be, and they're like, "What's CERN?" So now you got to explain the narrative, and then you have to explain your theory. And
Right?
they're like, "Oh, well, of course it's a science. It's whatever science. You know, that's why they have a big statue of Shiva the Destroyer in front of it, and it's
Just
built
all
on an ancient site, an ancient biblical site where Abaddon is supposed to come out of the lower realm to freaking, you know, wreak havoc on the earth. You know, it's built right on top of it. It's right in the center of it, this ancient site.
yeah,
But
they even
you know, I'm sure it's
performed
just
the
another
ritual.
coincidence. You know, nothing to worry about and nothing to pay attention to. I just think it's worth mentioning,
Yeah,
right?
it's always a matter of nothing to see here, folks.
Here, I was gonna play my Conor McGregor like. Uh, I'd like to apologize.
Yeah, I've got it worked out where I can flip right to the screen of what you're going to be playing when you're going to play a video, bro. So you just go ahead and roll through it. All I ask is you count to 4 before you talk, after you hit play, and count to 4 before you start talking after you hit pause. Because we're on about a 4 second delay, and I don't want to re-echo on people back home. You know, that's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Other than that,
Gotcha.
we're good to go, bro. What
All
do you
right,
think? What do you
beautiful.
think about my Goonies poster, bro?
I love it. Is that actually there or no?
I actually okay. These posters exist in my home. All right.
But they're
This
not hanging there.
this is a green screen background, but when I put together my real background that I wanted, man, it's just not right. Like it just doesn't sit right. I'm down in my basement, man. You know what I mean? So it's like I got to have a certain amount of space. So I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna green screen it up, and I'll go ahead and throw my posters up on my green screen wall. I'm not gonna use anything I don't actually own to Well, actually, I don't own a ficus. I do, but this is my reference to Mr. Deeds. Can I clean your ficus, Mr. Deeds? I think
And
that's.
I don't. I mean, I watched that movie, but wasn't really paying attention.
I don't imagine you would. You're too damn serious to pay attention to that. It's a damn funny
Well, I
movie.
mean, back in the day, I used to really just watch movies and be entertained. But now, when I watch movies, I write notes, I break them down, and I'm like, oh look, you know, there's the 666 there on the license plate. You
Right?
know, oh look, there's the 33 on the wall. You know, like, you know, they can't help themselves. They
You,
have to.
when you start
It's a
going down these
requirement.
rabbit holes on YouTube where they get you to notice things in public, you really do start noticing things in public. I even notice a difference in license plates, like the way they're numbered, and I think that they give different class of citizens that they've already got marked a whole different lettering system for their license plates, man. Like I think that when you get pulled over, they already know if they're going to let you go or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
What are you throwing up there? It looked like our astronaut was bleeding.
No, I was trying to see what that media file was, but I didn't really clean this up. Um, okay, so we didn't really talk about this photo real fast. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's lots of instances where if you really look at what's going on in these live videos, you will see bubbles. You will see bubbles in the live videos. Like I've watched the live videos myself. Just I go to YouTube, go to a NASA from the NASA website and a live video and just watch it. Really just watch it with a critical eye. Like you're you're a detective and you want to see if you can find something that's interesting or it may help you with your case. And I promise you, you'll see bubbles. You will see inconsistencies of what the vacuum of space is you're told is. There's no fucking way that there's bubbles in the vacuum of space. There's bubbles because they're filming underwater. And it's a whole movie production. It's a whole movie production so that they can get their $18 billion a year in money from us, our energy, our loosh. And they just take it and they spend it on these underground bunkers that they're building for themselves that we're not going to be included. I mean, a guy A guy drove from Kansas City to Las Vegas underground just delivering food for these elites, and he was blown away that he could drive. I mean, where'd that money come from? No, sorry. You know what? I may be a little patronizing tonight. I'm in that type of mood. You know what I mean?
You've
So
been in that mood all week, I noticed.
If I see if I seem a little patronizing, it's because like people want to argue with me and they want to debate, and I used to be that way. I used to just argue for the sake of arguing, but like I've been researching this stuff for a long time, and the evidence points to they're lying about everything. And I mean everything. Everything.
You brought up the number 33 earlier this week, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to let him go. I've been all down the Masons rabbit hole, man. And that's where that boils down to. And then that number 33, the reason they go to that specific degree is the multitude of 33.333 and how you make your 180 degrees out of 33.33 or 399, something like that point. And but so it's the closest you can get to perfection. Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's definitely multi-layered because you know, so they make you believe that the 33 could be Jesus. That's the when he died, or was crucified. Um, and there's 33 vertebrae in our spine, and they allude to that and that. Right. My theory is I just had a hunch. I was thinking about all the 77s at the Pentagon as I'm, doing this chapter in my book that's about fallen angel worship in the movies. And I'm going through all these movies and finding out what the name of the angel is that they're claiming is the bad guy in the movie or whatever, the demon, whatever, writing them all down. I mean, and I'm only to D. it's it's pretty mind blowing.
My two favorites for that are Legion and Constantine, man.
Yeah, two great ones. And they said they're coming out with a Constantine 2. Of course, I'm going to see that in the movie theater.
Right.
And try to enjoy it. Try to just enjoy it. But yeah, I'll be taking mental notes, and then I'll go back and take real notes the second time. But what was I saying?
We're just talking about angels' names and.
Oh no, 33 degrees.
There you go.
Mount Hermon is where the fallen angels first came down. Mount Hermon. In the book of Enoch, it talks about how many angels came down? About 200 of the 600, 33%. So 33% of the angels came down and they landed at the 33 degrees that Mount Hermon sits on.
Oh, that's why you were emphasizing that.
If you go to Google Earth and you go right to Mount Hermon, it sits right on 33 degrees. And I've listened to like 5,000 podcasts on. I've read so many books about this stuff in 10 years, and I have literally never heard anyone talk about this connection. I'm not saying I made some huge discovery, because obviously they worship this, so they know about it. The initiated know about it. The uninitiated don't know about it. But to me, it was an overwhelming connection to the number 33 and the fallen angel story. And in my opinion, this is all just fallen angel worship. This is fallen angel spiritual war shit. You see that picture?
Yes.
Why do you think they say the sky's the limit? Huh? Because we're covered in a firmament? It's kind of a funny meme. Just fruit for thought.
This one, I got one for you, man. I'm going to do a little trick.
Try to share it? Oh, hold on. Let me grab my picture real quick. Shut the fuck up.
Welcome to EVA there, Colonel
Oh
Phillips.
my god, yeah, I can see
Thank
it.
you, Ted Wilmore. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Terry, we can see it. Thanks for making it ripple.
Where is it? Where's the water? I can't really see it because it's too small. It's too small for my eyes.
Making it ripple. Yeah, Terry, we can see it. Thanks for making it ripple.
Is it just at the bottom? But how much is filled up?
Yeah, Terry, we can see it. Thanks for making it ripple.
I mean, that is interesting, but I have to look at it at a bigger video. No. But that is interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, the point is that look, we are just reviewing evidence, and don't shoot the messenger. Like, we're just presenting evidence. You can do what you want with the data. I'm not trying to change your mind. I don't care. You can keep believing these freaking lizard demons all you want. I know better. When they tell me the asteroid is gonna hit tomorrow, I'm just gonna laugh and I'm gonna go jump rope. I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna come back. I mean, just follow space.com on Facebook every single day. That's why I follow it, just so that I can laugh every day about the asteroid that's gonna hit tomorrow. It's like, what a fucking joke. But people eat that shit up.
Yep, they do, man. There was a long stint I went on with the whole lizard people, and then the one guy that's kind of famous, that he does all the lectures on it and shit, man. Looks like the guy that owns. He looks like the guy that owns Virgin Mobile. He's
oh God,
little blonde guy, Michael Ick.
And don't you think it's fucking weird that?
But that's all he lectures on.
We're supposed to believe a guy that was on the Epstein flight log, Richard Branson, and his company is named Virgin. And we're supposed to.
I said the guy that talks about lizards looks like Branson.
I know, but
he just looks like him.
I know, but Branson is doing those space flights.
I fucking triggered John. Sorry, guys.
Oh man, I'll smack, dude. I swear, I want to fight all of these trust fund dorks.
I would, bro. I would love to stream it, Brad.
Just one on one at a time. Just line them up. Like they could go through 100 of them in one day. I know it. They have no skills. These guys have no skills. They inherit money from their bloodline. They inherit power from their bloodline, and then they just continue the cycle. They have no creative skill. I'll smack all of them. They need some sweet Navy SEAL assassin to do their dirty work. They can't do a fucking thing.
No, you're right there, man.
Sorry, you know what?
Neil Young said it best, man.
Oh man, people need to wake up.
I know. Oh, sorry, that was a homeboy from Credence. I ain't no senator's son, man.
All right, so I got this picture here. Now I don't really pay too much attention to stuff like this because people just don't digest it as much. They need the video of the harnesses. They need the video of the green screen. They need to see with their eyes they're being lied to. They need to see the people supposedly on the space station drop the ball and have it fall straight down. They're like, oh shit, and they pick it up real quick. Like no one just saw you drop something that's supposed to have zero gravity and it fell straight down. Like, sorry, buddy, you're caught. There's no rewind. You're going live. All right, so the shortest distance between two places is not a straight line. Oh, this must not be it. That doesn't even matter.
No, yeah, they show a lot of that with flight paths, like how flight paths do the big curve.
Right, and they don't make a lot of the emergency landing destinations don't make any sense at all because you're like, why would you drive so far that way? That doesn't make any sense.
They'll always tell you it's about airport location, hoping you just stop there and take their word for it. But then when you're like, oh no, well these are closer airports, yeah, but they can't handle our jet, you know, like okay.
Now,
I've
this is
seen
pretty.
movies, man. I know what a jet can land on, bro.
Hell yeah. This is pretty interesting. This isn't really NASA, but you know how they're obsessed with their symbols. Now we have this.
All the chevrons, man. Just look up the chevron. Just go on just that mystery. The red piece in the NASA symbol. That's called a chevron. And
Yeah.
you look up how many companies use those in specific ways, and then you'll see like all these different ties with the way companies use their symbols and how they're joined together. It's like a brotherhood, like a there's I wish I could name some right off the top of my head. It was probably about 8 years ago that I went down that hole. But you're right, just like Windows having the same kind of top section that the old map had. And
Right. So this is so interesting, right? Because if you look on the Google Maps and you zoom in, you know, it's like nothing's up there.
right,
Nothing's up there, and you have all these old maps, and it's got Mount Meru, the most magnetic place on Earth, which would make sense because if your compass is always pointing towards that, right, then that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, you think about their symbolism, you think about how they have to tell you, and you start putting things together and really think about it, and you have these hunches. And that's what happened with the coordinates of Mount Hermon for me. I just was thinking and I go, wait a minute, what is the coordinates of Mount Hermon? I'll shit my pants if it's the 33 degrees. And I swear to God, I click on it and I'm like, no way. And for me, this is how God talks to you. He talks to you in these synchronicities and these hunches where if you don't fight it and you follow the hunch, you'll you'll go and you'll look into something, you'll go do something, you'll go talk to someone, you'll go meet someone, you'll go accomplish something that helps you for your bigger goal or whatever. Just stop swinging at windmills and just go with the flow, and you will end up enlightening yourself and in my opinion improving your life.
don't
you know
push against the grain. And
yeah, stop swinging at windmills, man.
yeah, that don't. I totally follow you on that, and I try to practice that as much as I can, and I just try to do whatever feels right at the time, and so that pushes me off in a lot of different directions, but I learn a lot of shit because of that, and I think that with what just saying like my skill level with technology, is pretty darn good, and I can thank my just ability to just flow with the day and let it happen. Uh,
Right, and you easily helped me get way better with my setup, which frustrated me for many months and years and whatever, and you easily had me, getting my other phone working as, I mean, that's also a skill. You help me, right? And that's what we do for each other. We help each other, just like today in jiu-jitsu and at boxing. I've got, 20 people I'm helping try to get better and better their life.
and
And
your
that's what
eye
it's
is
all
looking a lot better, bro.
I know, but my nose is scratched up now. It's, well, it's all part of it. These young bloods are all gunning for me. You know what I mean? They're all gunning for me. So I gotta stay on my toes if I want to stay ahead of the crowd.
They say the most common question on anyone's first day of jujitsu is, do we always hurt like this? Like,
And the answer is yes. Get used to it.
we always get hurt like this. That one, I
Listen,
love that one. Hey, I'm in love with that picture right there.
I mean,
That
are they just mocking us? I mean, to me, this is just blatant mocking, revelation of method, in your face mocking.
bro,
You
if
know, the
you were
whole
going to
thing.
describe Atlantis, okay, I would love blow that picture up for me. Pull that up bigger. Expand that. If there were longitude latitude lines that would be coinciding, you know what I mean, with where everything is, how we deal with it. I wonder how many lines are inside of that from center out. I wonder if it's 33. And then not only that, is this exactly what they described Atlantis as? Those are phases of the moon and sun right there.
Yeah, it's 22. I don't know.
No,
I just wanted to count them.
Oh, but you see how that rings around all of our landmass, but then there's that opening.
Yeah.
Is that not the description of Atlantis?
Right. Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's straight up the description of how Atlantis works. And then if you counted 3 rings inside, like, I don't know, man. And then these outside lands out here, the outer lands, those ones would be exactly who came in and then back out and told us the stories. But some kind of catastrophe happens inside of the circle, and then they come back in and repopulate. You know?
Did you ever read the book The Iron Republic?
No.
Okay, so very interesting. The Iron Republic was written in the 1800s. Okay, and it's supposedly about an account of a captain that got sick of all this war and battles that were going on, and he just wanted to go take his boat that he got decommissioned, and he took a crew and they just went exploring, and they got through Antarctica. This is a book written in the 1800s, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense what I'm about to tell you. All right, so they go through the ice on the other side of the wall, the ice wall, which triggers the globe tards. There we go.
Oh crap!
And so they go through the ice wall to the other side, and they encounter a completely advanced civilization with flying mobiles and widescreen TVs and all this crazy stuff. And it makes you wonder, is that where some of this technology came from? Is that where extraterrestrials are, the extra land out there? Not from outer space, but just, out there a little
Right.
bit farther where they don't let us go. I mean, to me, it's all in the words. I mean, you start going down the English language rabbit hole, and to me, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just add that to the fucking all the evidence against these motherfuckers, and they are mocking you with every word you say.
Yeah.
They're mocking you with every word you say.
What you just did with blending probably about 17 conspiracy theories all into one. That's something I've always wanted to do more work on, is finding out all these different core conspiracies and then all the outer lying, and see how the different stories can all, maybe they all work together to tell the whole story. And
I believe they do. Just like all the religions are trying to tell you the true story, a little bit of the true story, and people need to not fight with each other about your information or my information, but let's just compare notes. Let's just sit down and talk. I mean, okay, you're telling, the Muslims are going to say that, Jesus isn't God reincarnated, but they do say that he spoke as an infant in full grown sentences. You know what I mean? Even the Bible doesn't say that, right? That's pretty magical to me, right? So instead of fighting and arguing about, things that the elite, in my opinion, the elite purposely set up to get us to fight about, let's try to just investigate. Everyone look up the definition of investigate and regurgitate, and then look how they're used in a sentence, and ask yourself, do you examine? Do you carefully examine things to find out the truth, or do you just repeat what someone of authority told you because, I'm not going to say because you're lazy, but because you trust them? Because you trusted them just like the rest of us. Man, I grew up with astronauts coming over to the house in the Florida Keys. These guys were like my heroes, right? I wanted to be just like them. And now I believe that they are just Freemason lying actors who probably had to do some initiated stuff that they didn't want to do just to get to their position. And just like at my grandpa at the end of his life, we're really scared at the end. We're really scared about the shit that they fucking did.
Yeah.
And then they tell you about it, and they're like, "Man, I'm really worried. Is God going to forgive me?" And I go, "Yeah, I think he will." But I had no idea what actually went down, right? So all I have to say is that all of this stuff is really close to me, right? And I come from it. The only reason I exist is because my grandpa was in a war where he blew people up for the establishment, and he retired to the Florida Keys, and my dad was chartering the sailboat, and he stopped in Fort Lauderdale where he met my mom, who was cleaning boats, and she's from Michigan, so she just happens to be cleaning boats in Florida. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's a lot of, to me, I'm here for a purpose. That all happened for a purpose, and I'm here to fight, to teach people how to fight, to build things, to and to teach people how to look at information, I guess. And it took me a while to get going on my book, but now things are just flowing, man. And I'm getting ideas and chapters, and it's, to me, it's because so many things are working out the way they're supposed to. My new job is amazing. I hit the bag at 6 a.m. I go to work. I do awesome things, and then I get back to the gym. I hit the bag and I train with everyone, and then I go home and I see my kids. And right now I'm doing a podcast, right? So my whole day is spent accomplishing goals, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right on. I can feel you there, man. I found someone that is absolutely a supporter. She has no problem with me, going through a flow in the day where, this is us time, this is what I got to do now, and this is what I got to do now, and here's some more us time, and then, and she's all right with that, and so it means that, I get to buckle down again. I get to kind of, organize my life so that I can do those things I used to do, which is filming and stuff. And then, I work a 4-day week, and then on top of that, I try to try my best to I'm trying to put together the perfect portable system. You know what I mean? Something that just fits right in one bag and has multiple cams, audio system, everything I need all in one. Just pack it and go, and I don't have to worry about a crap ton of equipment and things like that. But anyways, but yeah, man, I get you. It's not an easy week. There's a lot of planning that has to happen to get things happening on all levels. Whether you're getting ready for a fight, or we're getting ready for a podcast, or we're getting ready to go out and, for me, go out and film a fight. That's a week of work on top of work, just getting everything geared together. So when I get home, I can just slap together all my stuff with the footage, and I don't have to dilly dally a lot. But what we got?
Okay, you see this?
Oh, weather balloons.
Okay, so this is supposedly Starlink satellites, right? Now, let's just look at this from two points of view. A, satellites are on balloons, just like the Chinese balloon that came down, and supposedly it's a spy balloon, right? Why wouldn't they just use a spy satellite? Okay, if its satellites are real, why wouldn't they just use a satellite? Why are they using a spy balloon? No, all satellites are on balloons. They're called sataloons, and if you actually watch Level with me, they go to the place where they launch these balloons, and they start talking to the guy about satellites, and it's hilarious because he doesn't even know the narrative. He's like, wait, what? Satellites? We launch these from these balloons here every day. And then they're like, no, man, satellites, they're orbiting. And he's like, what the fuck you guys talking? Like, and he works for him. So and he comes out of the gate like a fucking man. He's like, what the fuck you guys doing here? They're like, no, man, we're just videotaping. We're doing they talked him down, and they made it seem like they were there for other reasons, doing a different kind of documentary, trying to give NASA props. And the guy came out, and it was just so funny how he doesn't even know the narrative because he actually launches the balloons. So he
Wow.
knows the truth and doesn't pay attention to, whatever the news says about it or NASA, because he's so up to his ass and launching balloons.
Right.
So okay, let's just.
I ain't got no time for no YouTube. I'm launching balloons.
It's so fucking funny.
My whole life I dreamt of launching balloons, and now I get to play with balloons all day.
When I saw that, I'm like, it's a wrap. Like, I mean, there's so many times when I see something like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. But look at these. Okay, so here's one of two options we have here. This is actually Starlink on balloons, and this is what you see. You think there's some special satellite. No, it's a balloons with whatever special little satellites they have. Or this is a time lapse photo that's been doctored to, show you the same balloon, right? Now, this is me using critical thinking both ways, ladies and gentlemen. This is me looking at this picture and not taking it for just, oh, it's this or it's this. I'm looking at it and telling you, well, it could be this and it could be this. I don't know. I didn't take the picture. I wasn't there. I didn't launch the balloons. But the evidence is overwhelming that these people aren't just lying to you about the jab, NASA, the what the world is, war and all these reasons for war and all these other things, but they're actually lying to you about everything. And if and you want to ask me the question, is everything a conspiracy? Literally, the answer is yes. Everything is a conspiracy.
I'll
If you
tell
go
you.
down
I'll
the
tell you
rabbit
real
hole
quick.
far enough, huh?
I'll tell you real quick if you want to pull that picture back up. Pull that balloons back up.
Yeah.
All right. And I'll tell you real quick what's going on there. Okay. If you look at just the top picture, where the balloons are, if you trace them back to the ground, either set, bro, the bottom left or the top picture, and you trace that back to the ground, how close those balloons are being launched together, you would have a much bigger organization of people and balloons and cords and wires and inflators and everything going on. That's a one balloon crew down there. That's just a time lapse photography.
Yeah.
They messed with the sunset is all they had to do.
And also think about how big the lights are in the sky there.
I've seen Starlink going across the sky. It's not that packed together. If you hold your thumb up, there might be like 5 or 6 about a thumb length apart from each other, like from tip of your thumb to your bottom knuckle. Like that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I'm holding it up.
And also that picture, that picture right here, like in the black part where you see the lights, like if it was following the same size of these balloons and how close they are together, I mean, you would have no gaps here, and there would just be a constant flow of lights because they're so small.
Yeah.
And this would be so big. These have to be so much bigger, right? So
yeah,
we know this picture We know this picture just by Jay and I going over it and using our brains and critical thinking that someone on on a certain side made that to try to push a certain narrative, which is this narrative is this is Starlink, these are these balloons, but they couldn't even be consistent with how they presented it because that picture that they showed on the left, if it was actually the picture on the right in the sky with all those lights, they would be so close together. You would just see a constant stream. Yeah, I mean, you saw how close they were. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So, we're using our eyes to
From
figure
that
things out,
distance, it'd
ladies
be
and
like a
gentlemen.
laser beam, man. It would just be
And
a
that's what you
solid.
want to do. You want to use your eyeballs and not just regurgitate what somebody who hates you told you.
And
If you
also,
leave,
if you're a night watcher, which I am, I love staring up. I'm constantly showing Angie the difference between a satellite and an airplane. How you can tell how a satellite will light up from the east side and then slowly disappear. It's just because it's reaching past the sunlight again, and so it just fades away. But now, if it makes any kind of a curve or anything, and I've seen some, they try to use the black. Let's go on this the Black Knight satellite. Part of their story on that they like to use for facts on it is something about its north to south trajectory, how it loops the planet north to south. And I'm like, satellites do that all the time. I track satellites that go north to south all the damn time, man. Even at nighttime, I can tell you the difference between east, west, north, south. I can go as tight as northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. And I'm damn good with my stars, damn good knowing where I'm at. I was always a good tracker when it came to hunting season, and but yeah, man. So there's satellites that go north to south. Don't let anyone fool you on that. The difference is the flashing lights or no flashing lights, and then does it fade away? Does it stop at a certain point and start moving up and out? And you can tell, man. You can tell an up and out pattern versus that I'm going over the horizon kind of look, where it just kind of, but they always maintain and they're always staying at a certain level on the ceiling. You know what I mean? But you're looking straight out and they're just disappearing with no more sign of them. And they're not just slowly going down over the horizon like you see the sun do, right? You follow me yet?
yeah, no, I follow you and I follow your sarcasm as well.
Well,
But
because of the atmosphere, right? Remember all the stuff we looked at about how the sun doesn't go down; it just gets past that density of
yeah, it
atmosphere.
just gets too far away from. That's what I was explaining to a kid at at the gym tonight. Is like, look, man, it's like it's not going down. If you have if you had something that zooms in, you'll see it again. It'll be just as high above the water as you saw it 10 minutes ago, right? It will be. You just have to zoom in.
Yeah,
He's like, no, I don't think that how it works. I'm like, well, you should try the experiment, And there's lots of these videos on YouTube of people taking their high zoom cameras and zooming right back in when the sun was gone, and then it's right back above the water as high as it was before. So all I'm saying is that I'm going to show you this picture right here, and we're going to zoom in now. According to the if you go to the earth curvature calculator that Google gives you, Google earth curvature calculator, at 100 miles there should be 6,666 feet of curvature. I know, very convenient. On the tens it's always a 666, right? That I In my opinion, that's done on purpose because there's no curvature. I mean, according to this picture right here, those mountains should be 12,000 feet below curvature. They should be below the horizon 12,000 feet according to their own calculations, their own formula that they give you. Those mountains you should not be able to see because they should be 12,000 feet below the horizon. We're talking curvature according to their own curvature calculator.
Yeah.
Right. So at that's almost 200 miles. That's 190 miles. So you're talking 6666 plus 2, which is going to be like 13,000 feet below the horizon. You shouldn't be able to see those mountains. And this isn't even the biggest
It's like
gap.
half of Mount Everest.
You can actually see mountains 400 miles away in certain parts of the world. You can see them 400 miles away, which would be, 30,000 feet below curvature or whatever, below the horizon if curvature was a real thing. But we know it's not. We know it's not. Try to find it. There's a guy who will give you 2 Bitcoin if you can prove curvature. So go ahead.
Ooh.
His name's Flat Earth Dave.
Oh, he hit a sweet spot.
He's got 2 Bitcoin waiting for you, Jay, to prove your curvature. Go ahead. No one's gotten it, and you know why? Because anyone that tries ends up becoming a. I'm not even going to say it, but they leave globalism, and they move to something else. And let me tell you, I don't use that word because I don't subscribe to the psyop. Now I think people are trying to take back the word, right? They're trying to own it. And I don't believe that word is very smart because Mount Everest is 30,000 feet high. That's anything but level, right? That's not level, right? Why don't you just say absent curvature Earth, or I like realm. I really do like realm because it pretty much covers that. Okay, it's not what they're telling us, but hey, you know what? I'm not really too preoccupied with the shape because I don't know what it is, but I can tell you it's not this mundane word that's become a psyop. I mean, the Flat Earth Society was created by the CIA to get people that look into it to believe all this bullshit. No, the people that actually believe in, the real theory believe in Flat Earth Society. That's a joke. But people always use that as like, oh, this is their what they believe. No, no one actually believes that. That's all part of the divide and conquer. We have to co-op, psyop everything. There's not one part of it that they almost haven't thought of. But in my opinion, the internet is like the Bible in that sense that even though they tried to control it, it changes you. And it changed the game because it's the double-edged sword. They only thought there would be 10 websites. They had no idea that the entire library of Alexandria would be at our fingertips, and also Pornhub would be sponsoring NASCAR. Like, there's no way to fucking to anticipate that. Even if you're a lizard from a bloodline that's been running this world for, 1,000 years. And in my opinion, dude, it's a wrap. Like, we should be, it's like 7 billion. Yeah, this is a fisheye lens, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fisheye lens.
No, that's curvature.
And if you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining this video, they were doing damage control because they're talking about curvature here when he's jumping, and he realized, oh man, the Earth would be too small right now if the curvature was that strong, right? It would be like, yeah, there's no way. So he had to go do damage control and be like, no, this is a fisheye lens. Now I want you to Google when a fisheye lens was invented in the 1920s. You're like, what the fuck? Wait, we've had a fisheye lens that long? Oh man.
Right.
Oh shit.
Ah, that's awesome.
And listen, like, why would he land in the same spot if we're spinning so fast?
Yeah, he would end up probably 150 miles away.
Right, no, but he lands right in the same spot. You know why? Because they're like, oh, when you're in the atmosphere, you get carried with the spin. It's like they always try to, when something doesn't make sense, they just make it make sense for people that aren't going to look into it. But go watch the Go Fast rocket.
Hmm.
That to me, that's the Go Fast rocket proves a lot. It proves that there's something up there, and that when that thing stopped on a dime, something was going on. What does this guy say? Aldous Huxley. There will be
Oh,
there will
all
be
this.
there will be in the next generation or so a pharmacological method of making people love their servitude and producing dictatorship without tears, so to speak, producing a kind of painless concentration camp for entire societies, so that people will live, in fact, have their liberties taken away from them, but will rather enjoy it because they will be distracted from any desire to rebel uh, by propaganda or brainwashing enhanced by pharmacological methods, and this seems to be the final revolution. So I mean, the elites that were against this, I mean, that guy's probably not in the initiated group where he gets invited to all the eyes wide shut parties,
Oh,
but
bro, Huxley's got a crazy story, man. He's you got to look into all this, man. I believe he was offed. I believe he was unalived. Uh,
he was unalive. Yeah, that's funny. We have to say that.
yeah. Um, he was one of those that his sci-fi and fantasy novels were a little too close to the truth.
You want to Google something messed up? Look up Philip Marshall right now. Philip Marshall,
All right.
airline pilot.
Just Google it or YouTube it.
Just Google it. Yeah, just so you know the information.
Right on. Philip Marshall.
Philip Marshall, American hero.
Is that the one you keep showing the picture of? That's an actor.
No,
Oh,
this guy was a pilot, and he was trying to tell us about how 9/11 was bullshit.
Assassin's Creed, former airline pilot conspiracy. Is that what I'm looking for from the Daily Mail? They're kind of credible.
I don't know. You may have to go down a little bit, but I know that they what they did was they killed him. They killed his two kids. They killed his dog. The wife wasn't there, and he
Look,
wrote a
man,
book.
I'm telling you
What?
what, John, I'm American. In America, we trust Google, and if it's not in the first 5 responses, it ain't worth looking up. Okay? That's when you just go back to your freaking kitty memes and start trying to find them funny stuff to post on Facebook for your friends. All right? If
Well,
it ain't in the first 5, you're out of there.
that used to be true, but now they're trying to like psyop everything. For example, if you Googled Black Panther in the year 2000, it would come up, hey, there was a group that was standing up for the rights of African Americans, and they were fighting against the establishment. Now what they've done is if you Google Black Panther, it's just a movie about superheroes. You know what I mean? So that's what they've done. That's all part of it.
Right on. You talking about this guy?
Yeah, this guy, he's trying to tell us about what happened, and then they make it seem like he killed his kids and he killed his dog, and then he killed himself. And all he did was write a book, and he's letting us know that, hey, I'm an airline pilot, and I'm telling you right now, it didn't go down like they're telling you. And then he gets unalived. So my theory is that when you become a pilot and you become certain, you sign certain disclosure agreements. And just like anyone, the Illuminati doesn't like a rat. But if you sign one of these agreements and then you go and you be a whistleblower, that's when they take you out. That's why they don't take out every conspiracy theorist that's talking online, and they can't, because I think they do believe in this certain type of there's certain rules that they have to abide by, and it seems like it's a green light to unalive people if they've signed some sort of Faustian pact, which has to do with whatever maybe their job is. For example, who is the guy, the musician that just signed like this $100 million deal, and he's like crying as he's trying to like sign it, and his buddy's like putting his hands up and he's like praying to something. He's doing like a ritual, and then the guy's sad, and then they hug, and then a week later his nephew gets killed, and everyone's like convinced it was a sacrifice. I mean, that's what I mean. You know, if that guy steps out of line after he signed that contract, he's going to get unalived. He's going to hang himself from the doorknob of his hotel room with his belt, and they're going to run your name through the mud and make it seem like you were on drugs, you had mental health. And I think that's what they did to Elvis. I think that's what they did to Michael Jackson. I think that's what they did to a lot of people that had the message of, here, hey, it's not what you think. It's not what you think, because they ended up all saying that.
Wow.
Right? Elvis gave away all his money, and he just wanted to be a monk, do martial arts, do yoga, and meditate. And really, that's all he wanted to do. And then they try to make it seem like he, died on the toilet because of drugs. And it's like, no, man, he was a sacrifice, and he knew it. He knew it. He told his friend 2 days before, he's like, I'm gonna be leaving here in 2 days. He's like, where are you going? He just smiled and said, I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah. Dude, did you happen to notice the post I did about being invited to the Illuminati?
You were?
Absolutely. I can show you right now in my back office the the damn invitation, man.
An invitation to the Illuminati?
Absolutely. I am not messing with you, man. I'm about to show you. I gotta switch over. A little bit of a lag in my internet because I got a lot of flow going right now, but you know what I mean.
I got a lot of flow.
I got a lot of flow. Oh man, there used to be this guy out of Detroit area there. Jay. Jay Stories, and he used to let me use his music.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
that was one of his lyrics.
I want you to look at these pictures of the Earth that you can Google and tell me which one is the actual Earth. Which one is the actual Earth, and why is the picture so different if this is just a photograph from a satellite? Also interesting is that the moon sure does look pretty dull to, be lit up like it usually is. This is kind of a weird picture, but this is one of my favorite.
I know the answer. I know the answer, John.
I know you know the answer. So which one, ladies and gentlemen, are we going with? Let's see. Let's check TikTok. Oh, there are some people. Oh, here we go. The two biggest lies. Let me read you these comments that are on TikTok here. Great to question everything. The two biggest lies are NASA and World War II. You should watch Europa, The Last Battle. It'll blow your mind. Thanks, Brooke. Appreciate it. It is on YouTube. All right, so far, all positive comments. Doesn't look like the Illuminati's trying to censor us more than just shadow banning us because there's only 4 people watching. All right,
here we go.
You're about to play it?
Yep, I'm gonna. Well, I don't have to play it, but I can show you. There you go. All right.
Make it bigger. Make it the whole screen. Can you?
I can try.
Or is it your whole screen already? Illuminati. The world's biggest. I think I got one of these too.
I said sure.
That's so funny.
Thanks for the invite. Have you ever looked into joining? Yeah, man. I've asked a couple times.
I've asked a couple times.
Like the Masons, man. It's like you got to ask one to be one. That's their motto. Did you know that?
Takes one to know one?
No. You got to ask one to be one.
Ask one to be one.
Yeah, that's actually how the Oh, I got to get off that screen. Sorry about that.
Check this out.
That's how the Masons operate, bro. You got to go and ask to be a Mason. They won't come ask you.
Right.
The sigil.
I
of
almost feel
Lucifer.
like I want to do it just to see how far I can infiltrate the.
Your local shit ain't.
No, I mean, but hey, what do I got to do to get to the fourth degree, the fifth degree?
Oh, you can hit those ones easy, bro.
I'll
It's
work
up.
my way.
I think
I'll
you
work
could
my
get up
way
to
up.
24 or something like
You'll
that
get to like
within your.
24, and then they'll make you go slap someone at the mall.
You gotta punch an old lady.
Go open hand, smack that guy, and see what happens. Like, all right, man, I'm good with the 24th degree Illuminati. I'm good.
I mean, and I'm not downplaying anything, but like my up at U of M, man, I know a couple of the guys there that are Masons. One of them's a janitor. They're not high end people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
that's the thing about it. I think a lot of it is
maybe it's like Fight Club. You got guys everywhere.
Yeah, it is, because you got your lower level. They're gonna have it be everywhere so that they can hide and they walk amongst us, right? And they have these little Boy Scout clubs down the street where your local people want to throw a circus, and then well, if you're invited to certain parts of initiated, you can make it to the 33 degree, where they're gonna let you in on the fallen angel worship, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you gotta be, dude. You gotta be in the 100 millionaire plus, gone to college with these guys, been in their frats, all that shit. You gotta be Mason from birth and shit, man.
This guy I'm working for, who's I'm not gonna say his name, but we're doing a job for him, and he's a billionaire. He owns multiple companies, 60 plants all around the world. Owns a water bottle, owns a bottling package. He owns a water bottle company, actual water company. And this dude is worth like $7 billion, and he was invited to the Illuminati parties and to be a part of all that, and he said no because he wants to follow God, and he wants to just, he doesn't need to be that big. He doesn't need to be any bigger than a few billion.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And this is just what I heard secondhand from someone who's been working for him for a long time. You know what I mean? So, but he said that he was invited because I was going down the rabbit hole with this guy today, and he's been working for this guy since the 70s, so it's pretty interesting,
It's pretty awesome, man.
You got any other pictures?
Oh, I just what I was looking around on YouTube today. I've slipped off.
Did you see that Lucifer one that I just showed you?
The one from last week?
Oh no, hold on. Okay, let's look at this one real quick and I'll go back to that. Okay, so we have.
So what do you think? Do you think I should take the offer if they really, if they give me a phone number and address?
Yeah, and then just don't show up. Just be like, all right, I'll be there.
Of course I'm not going to show up.
Have the limousine waiting, and it'll be like Illuminati, like leaving dog shit on their porch and running, you got them. So here's a fisheye lens used at high altitude balloons compared to a fisheye lens not used, right? So people set their phones up and they send them up on these balloons, and they obviously the phone gets destroyed, but the video goes to the cloud or whatever, and they somehow can get the video, and every time they send their phone up, you don't see any curvature, and in my opinion, you don't even see an edge. Like if you look at this bottom corner, I mean, you don't see an edge. You can see where the black meets the blue, but you don't see an edge. And this could be the same concept as with when the sun moves out of your eyes. Okay, you just can't see any farther than that.
I'd want a straight edge put on that bottom left one.
In my opinion, that could go on forever. Like that could just keep going on. And that's kind of like my crazy theory, is that when they tell you space is infinite, and then it goes on forever, and there's all these planets, and you're just just a piece of dust in the universe. That there's a million like you in infinite universes, and there's infinite us having this conversation infinite times and infinite universes. I just think it's all just make you feel so small, and I think infinite is that edge. I think infinite is you can't find, you'll just keep walking. If you and me are in this bottom left hand corner and we just keep walking, we're not going to walk over the edge. We're not going to find, we're not going to come around the other side. We'll just keep going. And that's why they don't let people go explore, because they'll just go explore an entire new realm, a new world, and they can't have that because they need to control you. They are obsessed with this control. Trust me, it's not about money. If they can just print more money with nothing backing it, then it's not about money. It's about something else. If they can just print money from nothing, then they can just keep printing it and giving it to themselves. Then it's not about money. It's not about money. It's about control. It's about controlling your attention and controlling your energy. And why do they want to do that so much? They don't want you close to God. They don't want you figuring out what's going on. They don't want you figuring out that this is an ancient, spiritual, fallen angel war.
You know what? And I think a good thing for what we have here for a platform, if it's a platform, but is to let people know that keep yourself busy.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes absolutely knowing about this stuff and then just staying in your own zone uh, helps you get past it. It helps you move into that manifestation, focused inner. If you can zone out all the BS that we have to deal with on this planet on a daily basis, like you're doing really good. You got a good start. And then find something to do, man. Go for walks. Go find a gym to work out in. Follow John's videos on his exercising and stuff. He'll jump rope you to death. I don't care how you do that so much, man. Just
You don't get why I do it so much?
just man, it's like you just got this routine on your jump rope that just kills me, man. It's just you're like you're like a Speedy Gonzalez with a jump rope. It's just quick as shit.
Well, I follow this girl who's, shout out to what's it, Snorreeb on Instagram. But this girl is the 32 time world champion, been winning world champion since she was in kindergarten. And I mean, she's incredible. You want to talk about incredible? I'm not shit. Tori Boggs, that's her name. Tori Boggs, world champion jump rope girl. Go follow her on Instagram, and then get back to me how sweet you think I am. You're gonna be like, John, you're a joke. Dude, you need to step up your game. And I'd be like, I know, I have goals. And they involve doing a backflip off the balance board with a jump rope. So,
I'm
I'll
one of
get
those
there.
that sets too many expectations for the start. You know what I mean? Like the people that put shit off, because they're busy with this, they don't have time for that. And I know I could get back down and weight again, and I just got to go do it. My wife, she's out walking every day, doing her diet plan. Doing a really good job at it. So, but I'm just not that guy, man. I keep telling her like I just don't do diets. Like I'll go walk and shit like that, but I'm not
Do you
like.
like meat?
Oh yeah, man.
Do you
Yeah,
like vegetables?
yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to diet. You just have to eat what you like and not eat probably something else that you also like. Just focus on what you like. Just focus on the meat and the vegetables, and you'll lose weight,
Right.
and you'll achieve all your goals.
Well, I got a
See,
bonus factor, which is that she's gluten free. She's just like semi irritated by it. So,
yeah, so
so
you
we
it
just don't
helps.
keep it in the house anyway. So, I mean, if we're
That'll
using
help.
flour for something, it's almond flour or coconut flour. But man, a lot of that stuff comes out pretty good. I gotta say she changed my mind a lot on like gluten free pastas and breads and things like that, man. And I was down to 195 for a little bit, and then I got happy, I guess, you know.
All right, let's check out this last picture.
Yeah, what you got, man?
So we got this sigil of Lucifer that, if you match it up next to what they tell you is the narrative of eclipse, um, it's pretty similar. The diagrams, in my opinion, this is how they hide things, and they hide it. They always hide things in plain sight. Remember, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing you he didn't exist, and I think that's in the name. They get you thinking about this guy with red horns who's the devil. They get you thinking about Satan, which just means adversary, which whoever you're fighting in the cage on that night is your adversary. That's your Satan. So all this word, play is what they're all about. They're about these symbols. And once you learn to not pay attention to, the narrative and read the symbols, you start really knowing what they're saying. And, in my opinion, the evidence is over with. Any jury in the world that saw all the evidence that is out there, they would all convict. There's no one that would let these people off the hook. No one. They would be like, all right, so what else you got? As soon as they realize, they'd be like, well, what's next? What else you got? And you would just start showing them everything, and it would just destroy the entire, elite Molochian trust fund dork. All right, and so let's just finish right here. The last thing we're going to show you is this map that used to be one of the main maps that they showed back in the day. Now, believe it or not, they still use this map in the 1930s, right? And they were teaching this map in school. And you'll see this map on every logo. It's on the UN logo. It's on, a lot of world government logos. The world, and they all use this flat Earth map. Like, and I don't want to say that word, but that's what this is, the original flat Earth map that they shows you in this little area. And north is here. And when you go around the world and you fly around, they're like, well, how do people get around the world? Well, follow my mouse. They start here and they fly and they go, ooh, and then they're back in the same spot. And they went around the known world that they know, just like that. And you would think that what you did was do it the other way on a globe, but it's the same thing. You can go around the world on this map too. And when you start studying this map, all of the emergency landings don't make sense on a globe map, but they make complete sense on this map. So that's just more evidence to kind of look into, and in my opinion, NASA is the easiest one to debunk because literally there's so much evidence that you can use with your eyes to discern, where other things are a little bit harder and you have to read a lot more symbolism. For example, demon worship and connecting that to statues and ancient myths, and and biblical, now you're talking, there's not as much evidence because people need to see things with their eyes. And in my opinion, just go over these videos, go watch those 3 documentaries, Level, Next Level, and Level with Me. And if you still believe in NASA, then I don't think anything will ever wake you up. So just keep buying your shirts from Kohl's or whatever.
Right on. I'm going to pull that up so people can see that.
What is it?
Level.
Oh, yep, and that's what I was playing, when that lady ran off. That was from Level with Me. And what they do is they go through and they find every single person that's on the Challenger. And look, 2 of the guys miraculously have twin brothers that never existed before. The other lady's using her same name. She's still a freaking professor. The other guy has a website using his same name, which actually has a cow strapped to a rocket that's blowing up. It's just like hilarious. Like, that's just like making fun of everyone. And then obviously the other guy was old, so he probably did pass away in the midst of hiding. And so these people are out there. And then you look at the video of the Challenger blowing up and the dad of the teacher's laughing. He's like cracking up. Like, if I'm a dad, I have 3 kids and 1 son. I mean, I have 3 girls and 1 son. If any of them were hurt in a rocket that blew up, there's no like laughing and coming to reality. Like, oh, hey, what did that blow up? Like, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
you know, I just, you look at the human behavior, you look at the reactions to people have, and in my opinion, you couple that with all the evidence, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Fuck these elite Molochian trust fund dorks and all their rituals and all their beliefs. And, you know, I care about them as much as they care about us, which is they hate us and I hate them. But you know what? I'm still going to jump rope in the morning. Yeah, here she is.
Right on.
Yeah. The evidence is overwhelming. You know, with the same teeth. And then look, they try to go and they. Now, in my opinion, they kind of messed up when he says, "Oh, I want to talk to you about a conspiracy. Watch your face." Oh, she just bails right away. Now, he should have just hit her with the question, the direct question, and watched her do the same thing, which would have helped his case more. I think soon as he says conspiracy, all the people who fighting indoctrination are automatically going to cling to that, which I can understand. So I can see their point.
Right.
See, I'm always trying to be a master of perspectives. I'm trying to, just like in the ring, I'm trying to put myself, when I'm fighting, I'm trying to put myself in the perspective of the judges. Not, I'm trying to get out of my own head. I'm trying to get in my opponent's head. And I'm trying to think, what did the judges see? Well, they see combination punching. They see aggressive. They see you walking the person down. You know what I mean? So try to get in the other person's head. Try to get in their perspective, and you'll have a better opportunity to communicate to them more efficiently. And you can see that this is where probably that water that got stuck in the guy's helmet came from during his little training session that they were doing right here. Some Freemason, elite Molochian trust fund dork astronaut. That's the guy that'll give you Bitcoin right there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that flat earth Dave guy. Go ahead. Try to prove the curvature. He'll give you, if you can prove it without a shadow of a doubt, he'll give you 2 Bitcoin. That goes for anyone. No one's done it. You know why? Because there's no curvature. It's real simple. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus, he's telling you what he thinks.
Oh.
My theory is that Joe Rogan actually acts like he's not agreeing with Eddie, but he's slowly, like, the way he's like asking questions now, and there's something up. He's like, I think he's on our side, and he's like slowly exposing things, like in a way where it's so slow it's driving you and me crazy. Okay, there's a satellite. Yeah, that's a satellite. Oh, there's the scientific. This is so funny. All right, we're gonna stay on it. We're gonna stay on it. We're gonna watch this part. This is where they launch all the balloons and the satellites for NASA, right? And
if
this
they're
guy
in
comes
magical
storming
floating
out of
space,
here like
in the
a
magical
fucking,
floating vacuum of space.
He does not fucking around.
They're showing us. They're
And
telling
he's
you
like-
right now. They're telling
Watch,
us
he doesn't even
in
know
plain
the
sight.
narrative.
Hey,
He
look,
doesn't even
satellites are
know
on
that
balloons. They're not in
Watch,
magical
here's his
space.
truck.
Right here at this research center. Okay.
Oh,
loud,
God.
loud truck. Yeah.
I love this.
I remember seeing this.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, he just drives right over.
Howdy. I'm just doing some filming. What?
Just doing some
Anything we can see?
filming
We're just
what?
doing a documentary on the balloon
We're
launch.
just doing a documentary. No, we're independent journalists.
No one's filming me.
Are you filming me? He's
well,
like,
I mean,
oh
we're in
well,
public.
we're
There's
in
no
public,
expectation of
so
privacy.
there's no expectations of privacy.
They said they weren't doing any tours.
Yeah, they said we weren't doing any tours. Hey, of course, you got to do your due diligence and make sure there ain't nobody out there plotting.
We got
I get it.
NASA conspiracy that balloons are really what satellites are, and we have First Amendment audit going on, man. All in one freaking shot, bro.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they did a good job with this.
He's like,
Now
there
watch
is
how
no
this-
expectation of privacy in public. I'm allowed to film anything I can see from public.
Did you hear what he just said? He's like, they will shoot you if you try to go up and fuck around.
It's cool that they're all going up on balloons. We didn't even know. We were taught, they're just orbiting by themselves.
Or they're shot up with rockets.
Yeah, they're shot up with rockets. That's all
It makes more sense on a balloon, so we're like, okay, well, this makes sense.
Unless they got some top secret stuff I don't know about.
You don't know about any of these satellites without the balloons?
The idea that you would need.
Unless they got some top secret stuff I don't know about. That's crazy, man.
He didn't even know. He doesn't even know about satellites because that guy is so busy. He is so up to his ass in launching a satelloons that he doesn't even know what a fucking satellite is. Oh my God, that's my favorite part of the movie right there. That's my favorite fucking part of the movie. That guy works for NASA, comes out of there like a bat out of hell, gets First Amendment audited, and then admits that he doesn't even. He's like, what? Sorry, my friends, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
we got you on every corner on this video, so
like, I don't know, man. Just use your brain. Like, look, don't shoot the messenger. We're just providing the data. I'm not saying, I'm definitely not. You'll never hear me say the Earth is flat like these guys. I don't say that. I like to use the word realm because I'm not up there. I've never been up there. I have never seen it. I don't know. I don't know how deep it goes, how hollow it is, how far it is. But I can tell you that we know there's dead bodies up on Mount Everest, a lot of them. People walk by them, right? So we know it's way up there. We know it's up there. And we know the Marianas Trench, it could be the deepest part of the ocean. Maybe. We don't know. Because I don't think.
But now they're saying that they've discovered a whole ocean underneath the crust below the ocean that's bigger than the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
And
because
who knows what lives in that?
They're going to, when it comes to science, they're going to slowly change the narrative as much as they want because that's what it does. There's no consistency, and when you're testing things, they can change. And so, but they get you believing that something's stamped it in concrete and it's never going to change, and that's not true. These scientists are arguing all the time. Don't believe in just scientism. Let me leave you with one of the quotes in the Bible that I randomly open up my Bible every day, and I just read the most line on that page that means something to me, right? And sometimes I don't find that much on that page. But the other day I found something very interesting, and it made me think of what science is. And here's the quote. And I think it's Colossians. It's in Colossians early. Sorry. It's test all things and hold fast what is true or good. Hold fast what is good. So it's test all things. Hold fast what is good. There's your science. There's your scientific method right there in the Bible, telling you not only test all things, test me. Keep what is good. It's telling you. It's literally telling you. You just have to stop swinging at windmills and listen to the messages that God is trying to give you. That's all I'm going to say.
Right on. I think that's a good note to leave on. And next week we can, maybe we'll explore the scientific side of things and what science is maybe hiding from people and how science works its way through the magic of concealment, And maybe we can hit on a cool couple things on that next week. And who knows what else we'll talk about, huh?
Yeah.
Right on.
that gotta love these conversations. You know, we try to go for an hour and we end up going for 2 hours. So
Yeah.
you know,
Right on.
praise Jesus, hallelujah. Take care, stay the course.
Hey man, get it in, get it done. Check us out. We're all over the place.
All right. Good to go.